Okay, I'm going to be reading Brothers and Circuits 2, Chapter 1, Wrath of the Master. There was a warmth coming over him. He felt the same feelings he did back when he was young and spry. Singing songs and laughing with Bonnie and Golden. He could hear muffled versions of the old intercom voice and children cheering. He could hear music. It was all too real. Was it so real? He opened his eyes. He was on his old stage with his old guitar. He looked around, spotting Bonnie to his right. They were both clean as the day they were made, with no trace of wear or strain. Looking around, he spotted Golden to his left. Eyes widening at the bear, he stuttered, looking around more. Golden? How? But you died. Attempting to move, he noticed he was locked in place. Raising an eyebrow at Freddy, Golden smiled. It wasn't his usual smile, but Freddy didn't care. He was probably just imagining things. It had been so long, he felt as if he was going to cry. Ah, brother, you must have hit your head harder than we thought. I ain't dead. Freddy studied him, looking back at Bonnie. Bonnie was frozen in place as well, not moving, not blinking. Looking back to Golden, his ears perked up. The cheering had stopped. The children were gone. The lights suddenly powered down, and the restaurant had returned to its collapsing state in a flash of an eye. Golden smirked, getting up from his position on the stage. Freddy's ears drooped. What is this? What's wrong with Bonnie? He said sternly, trying to move, only to find he was locked to the stage. Growling, he began to struggle against the visible restraints holding him down. Whatever do you mean? The gold bear hissed softly, leaning into Freddy's ear. I thought you wanted to see me again. A shiny paw reached out. He was stroking his face gently. His voice was smooth and had a happy, eerie hint to it. The younger male flinched. His voice wasn't warm and loving like it used to be. His paws felt clammy and disgusting. He shuddered, snarling. You're not him. Golden laughed. His laugh melted into a horrible, high-pitched, shrieking giggle. The giggles evolved into blood-curdling screams. Right in front of him, Golden and the skeleton melted into nothing but a pool of human blood. On the on the floor. It splashed loudly. Some of it splattered onto his legs and lower torso. Freddy's ears were fully flat against his skull as the shrieking laughter continued. Who are you? He screamed, feeling his fuel tank surge with oil. A thick red liquid bubbled out from his voice box, leaving a horrible coppery taste on his tongue. He struggled more, trying to cough it up. Nothing helped. I'm the master, the voice hissed softly right into Freddy's ears. Everything went quiet. His vision turned to black. He could feel something taking him away. He struggled and screamed, but no sound came out. It's me. Yeah! Freddy cried out, lurching upward. He coughed, suddenly feeling very, very dizzy. He coughed, wincing in pain. Gasping, he fell onto his side, causing his body to cling loudly. Looking around, his vision fully returned to normal. Well, as normal as it could be. He couldn't see very well. There was only one thing he could make out clearly so far. He wasn't in the basement anymore, that's for sure. He was in a room that he had never been in before, and even though he couldn't see well, it was very obvious there was a door with a large exit sign lit in red on the top. The floor was shiny and new, but coated with dirt. Looking around, his eyes widened in horror when he spotted Bonnie and Chica in their broken state. Even though it was dark, he could still see what was wrong with them. As his eyes continued to adjust, Bonnie's face was fully destroyed, and Chica had several new sets of teeth. Both of them were missing various body parts, wires protruding from where the limbs used to be. They were both leaning on each other, fully limp and unmoving. Chica's eyes were still open, empty and lifeless. He gagged. There was no question in his mind. He didn't have to sight them up close to find his answer. They were dead. He shook his head in fear and denial. Scrambling backwards, hitting a wall, he wheezed harshly, coughing. After a few moments of just staring at them, he struggled to crawl forwards. Looking at them both, he slowly reached out, touching the bottom body's jaw, the only remaining structure. To his face. Feeling tears form, he choked, lowering his head. It was his job to protect the family, and he had failed. Wiping any tears away, he coughed and looked around again. Upon further inspection of the room, Foxy was nowhere in sight. Foxy? Freddie asked, looking around for his little brother. His ears shriveled weakly, only picking up a sudden radio transmission. He attempted... Really? Sorry, that wasn't a part of the story. He attempted to get up, but his body was still horribly stiff, collapsing. He grunted when he fell onto his side. He's going into sleep mode without warning. He stayed in that uncomfortable laying position. He didn't notice the pink and white animatronic clinging to the ceiling, staring at him. I'm sorry, but I can't do any more. This was like a lot to this chapter, but I will be reading the rest, I promise.